What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Eddy Live Show, episode number 99. I'm here with Noah Kercher. How you doing, brother?
I'm good, Eddie. Thanks for having me on the show.
Hey, it's my pleasure, man. I loved what you were doing and what you are doing. I've been watching your videos, and kudos to you, man. So I figured I'd love to get you on here. I know you're doing your crowdfunding right now. I hope that's going well. Hopefully we can get some more sandals sold today. I'd love to place an order, so I'll ask you about that during the show. Yeah. So
sure.
So how you doing, brother? You're in Elon right now. You were saying? Tell me about yourself, man.
That's right. I'm in Elon. Ever since I've been in Taiwan, I've been based out here. I've been an English teacher for most of my time in Taiwan. I'll be that straight up. That's what I do. But
hey, I taught English. Everyone does that, man. In the beginning, we start. Some people stay. Some people change. I enjoyed my English teaching time, man. Yes. Last week I actually subbed. They needed a sub, and I went in and subbed for a week. And I was like, hey, this is fun. I forgot how much I liked it.
Yeah. It's not a bad job. You get to hang out with kids or adults and help people learn English. It's a great job. Yeah, especially in Taiwan. So I've been doing that. And I also went to business school for a few years in Taipei. So I went through the MBA program at Junda. And then, after I finished, I worked for a company for a few years. And then I decided that, I was really interested in social business. And I was actually a lot of my classmates, a group of them, they went on to win a huge social business competition called the Holt Prize the year I graduated with them in 2015.
I've heard of that, actually. Yeah.
Yes. So they won that, and they won $1 million to start their own social business, which ended up selling coffee to help build schools.
Oh, nice.
And that's called Impact Coffee. And they still have locations here in Taiwan and selling their products in the U.S. as well. So, that's been a real inspiration as well. So I just think social business is really cool. And I just wanted to combine my interest of, I love Taiwan and the outdoors and the nature you can do here. Everything's close. It's easy to get to the mountains or to get out to the beaches.
Yeah.
And I think it's great, the amount of outdoor things you can do here. And so I just wanted to combine that with making an impact and doing something that I hope could benefit people, right?
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
That's kind of my crossroads. I had, to me, I ended up choosing the Philippines as an area to work in because I saw that, there was a big need there for people. You have a huge population, you have a government who can't provide all the services needed for everybody, and just a huge need there. And I said, hey, I think it's close to Taiwan, so it was going to be easy to try to start up this business and, easy to go back and forth. And so that was a big reason as well, was location. And then also I see a high need.
Okay. Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool story with the Impact Coffee. I didn't know that story. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, they're another awesome company, and they've been around for the last 5 years, and I know they still have a coffee shop here in Taipei there.
That's really cool, man. I think that's something we'd all kind of love to do, is to give back, but we don't really know how, to be honest. So now we can just buy some sandals, I think, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right, Eddie. Exactly. Yeah.
So before we get into that, man, I really would love to know the original idea that brought you here. I mean, we all come for different reasons, or maybe the same reasons. And I mean, kind of like getting our foot in the door in Asia. So, I mean, what was the first thing that brought you out here?
So your question is like, what's the first thing that brought me to Asia? Is that right? Made me come out here, right?
Asia, Taiwan, whatever. Yeah.
Sure. Mm-hmm. I'd already traveled a little bit in Latin America and around the U.S. and Europe before I came to Asia. I'd been around a little bit, but I'd never been to Asia. And I was like, you know what? Wow, it looks like the easiest thing to do is to come and teach English here. And I was like, let's come teach English, and then I'll probably tour around a little bit, and then I'll head back to the U.S. That was kind of my plan. What ended up happening is that, I realized I really enjoyed it here. And when I started looking at grad school, I said, why not? Why not go to grad school here in Taiwan? I was thinking about doing it back in the U.S. and I was like, no, I'm gonna do it here. Yeah.
And was it your first stop? Taiwan was your first stop?
It was. Right off the
bat. Beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
Luckily I had a friend, kind of a casual friend I knew named Alex, who still lives here in Taiwan. He runs his own business as well. He's from the U.S. and he sells pizzas. He's actually
in Taichung?
Yes.
Alex, exactly. Alex Wagner, yeah?
Exactly,
no,
yes.
Monster Pizza, shout out to Alex,
Yeah, shout out
Monster
to Alex,
Pizza.
he's the man. He's the man. I love Alex.
Okay.
Yes.
Me too, I love him, yeah.
Yes, Alex is very, very cool, and he was my first anchor point when I landed in Taiwan. So
okay.
Definitely made it a soft landing and very, very helpful for me.
It's good to have those guys that have kind of been like the lifers almost, that come here. And then, you come into town, you go to a restaurant, you have a pizza or a taco or a beer or something, and then you kind of sort of plug into the network. I think that helps a lot, man. I think it's great. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, that's what it is, Eddie. If you've lived here in Taiwan for a while and you're a foreigner, of course, you probably all know many of the, potential same people, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So you got to be nice to everybody, right?
Exactly. We're all in here together. Yeah.
I agree 100%, bro. I agree.
Yeah.
Brother, so keep going. I didn't want to cut you off there. Yeah. So you met Alex. Alex is in Taichung, right?
Right.
So you went to Taichung first? Yeah?
Yes. Yeah, I was there for a few weeks. He's like, hey, I can set you up. I can help you find some jobs here. No problem. Get you started in some schools. And, I said, hey, well, I'm really into surfing. Do you know anyone who lives in Ilan or Hualien? And he goes, Hualien, no, but Ilan, yes. I have some friends who are also U.S. Guys that are from like Michigan, and they were like, sure, I can make some calls, and they were like, yeah, send them out, no problem. So I moved straight away out to Ilan and was living around near the beach, just between Ilan City and Lodong.
Okay.
And then after like 6 months, I realized that the surf scene, I already knew how to surf and I like surfing. I was like, wow, well, Tochun, Wuxi, Wuxigang, as it's all called, Wuxi Harbor has all the surf shops, has a kind of a surf scene. I'm going to move up there. And I've pretty much had 1 foot in Tochun ever since I've been in Taiwan my first year. And I did live in Taipei for a few years while I was in business school. Then otherwise,
makes sense.
Yep. Otherwise, I've always been based out here. I love it. Yeah, I love being near the ocean. I surf every day if I can. And, it's not the best waves in Taiwan. The best waves are in the south of Taiwan. Every surfer that's a surfer knows the premier surf is further south. But, you can't beat the proximity of close to the city. Lots to do. There's good hiking and rock climbing. I love rock climbing as well. So Longdong, that's near to Geelong and Fulong. That's also fun. So couple things I like to do outdoors close to each other keeps me anchored up here.
Okay. I think, being so close to a beach is priceless, right? I have friends up here on the North Coast, and I'm in Tianmu, right? Which is kind of like city-ish. But occasionally when we can, we don't have a car because, Taipei, you don't really need a car, in my opinion. Right. So when we want to travel, if we want to do a beach day or something, we'll just do like a car rental thing. We'll zip up to the beach. And we did that last week, and I haven't been able to do that because of the pandemic. The whole summer, no beach. Right. So that was crazy. So we just did that, and just getting in that water. As soon as you kind of just dunk into that water, you just, my brain anyway, goes into like a mini vacation mode, and it just kind of, it flows. It's great. I love it.
Yes.
So to do that daily, that's priceless. Yeah. I love it.
Yes. Agree. Yeah. I'm very lucky. And, but for me, it's a priority. I put it up really high as like part of my lifestyle. Like that's what keeps me in Taiwan, keeps me enjoying, being here is that, I get to start my day, in the water a little bit, and it's always fun. And Taiwanese are super chill and very open and friendly, and that's good too. There's not really any kind of like, hey, that's my wave, and getting chippy in the water and stuff. So you don't really see that, and that's really nice.
Yeah, no, I found. I mean, I've been here a really long time, so I found the people. Everybody's really chill. Everybody's really great. I mean, we have the restaurant here. We have a lot of stuff happening, and they're down to go and try, different things. And I think Taiwan's got the potential to do great things. And for me as well, I came here first, and my idea was maybe I'll start here for a year or two, and then I'll kind of live in maybe China or Japan or Philippines or Korea or wherever. But I came here and I was like, yeah, this is pretty nice. I went to visit the other countries, and they are nice, but I don't know, man, this is a special place. It's a small island, tropical island. Where I come from, it snows a lot, right?
Okay.
And it's like, I came here, there's no snow. I love that. You can go up to the mountains, you can go hike in the mountains, you can go to the beach, you can do it all in like the same day, which is crazy, right? I think it's beautiful, man. It's kind of like the best of both worlds for me.
Yeah. Where are you from originally?
So I'm originally from Canada, Northwest BC. So cool. close to Alaska. So way up there.
Wow.
Nice place, small town. Snows a lot. So when I came out here, I was looking at China, Korea, Japan, Taiwan, and the other places snowed. So I was like, okay, forget that, because I've been shoveling snow 6 months of the year for my whole life. So I said, well, let's go to tropical island. And if I can learn another language, Mandarin would be a good one. So I said, let's do that. Came here to start, and still here, man.
Awesome.
Yeah,
that's cool. You're from BC. I grew up in Spokane, Washington. So I go to Eastern BC, go to Vancouver when I was in college. Went to college in Bellingham, so very close to Vancouver, and I love BC. Yeah, it's a beautiful area. A lot of good nature, good outdoors to do there. Lots of stuff, right?
Good fishing, rock climbing, good stuff up there for sure, man. Yeah. Yeah, so I love that. But let's talk a little bit about your brand, man. Like Ziran, your outdoor lifestyle brand, right? So
that's right.
I mean, is this something new? I mean, I just caught wind of it, or has it been going in the background for a while? It must be if it's rolling. So tell me about it, man. I want to know.
Yeah, I mean, I basically kind of got it up and rolling, got my website up and rolling in 2018.
Okay.
And, slowly was selling sandals to people who are interested, selling them out of the back of my van, outside the parking lot sometimes, from talking to surfers, mostly targeting surfers, because, flip-flops are kind of a very common thing for a surfer to wear. But anybody can wear flip-flops, especially in Taiwan, because it's hot, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
for sure.
Yeah. So that's kind of why I chose it. I was like, okay, flip-flops is something that people, everybody can wear them, especially here in Taiwan. And, it's something that the people in the Philippines could make and help give them that impact, give them something that they could be doing, so that they could generate more income, have more money, keep their kids in school, right?
Okay.
Because it's kind of like the older kind of moms and dads who are kind of making this stuff. And the idea is their kids can stay in school longer instead of getting pulled out to go, to go be, a lot of them end up, rummaging through trash and looking for recyclables, right? Looking for things they could use or sell or whatever, right? So that's the process that happens down there. So that's why I chose sandals. I was like, this is something that I see as a product niche I could get into in the surf scene in Taiwan and abroad. And, it's something that everyone kind of wears. And, almost probably if you ask people surveyed, probably, 80% of people probably have had or have one pair of flip-flops around, right?
Especially in like Southeast Asia, tropical, everything, right? I think, I think it's a great idea. I mean, so you said you started from selling from your truck, your van, right?
Yeah.
So those sandals that were in your van, your truck that you were selling, those were already the product that you have now that were being made in the Philippines.
Right. Yes,
Okay.
I'd already acquired, my contacts and my supplier there. I'd already been in the Philippines previously for different vacation trips, and had, sought out partnerships and kind of started getting the product design up and working. And
so you got all that stuff done before you said, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a smart thing. Yeah.
Yeah, so I already had my first kind of shipments coming in from the Philippines here, and that it's always been really small batch. I usually only import about 50 pairs at a time.
Okay.
And I slowly sell them off, over a 6-month period. But, now I'm getting ready to, part of crowdfunding right now is like, let's take this beyond Taiwan. Let's open up international sales, and let's try and increase. Let's see if we can, improve this more. I want to have bigger orders, right? I want to be able to be selling through more often, more regular. So that's kind of my goal right now, is just, to kickstart this and take it to the next level. Because obviously right now I would say it's just been a side hustle, right? It's been a side business that I do on the side, right?
Yeah, and you want to go full time, you want to go all in.
Right, right. I want to see this thing get bigger. And so now that's why the reason for the crowdfund is to kind of generate and let all those friends and family know in the U.S. and friends and family network in Taiwan that, hey, this is what I'm doing. And if you want to support me, great. And just try to get that, raise the awareness, raise the level of orders. And then you hope that can just jumpstart to the next level, right?
That's beautiful, man. I think it will. I think it's kind of like sandals with a story, right? I think people love that whole concept. I mean, that's why when I saw your post in the Taipei Impact Entrepreneur Group, I saw that and I was like, oh, I got to get this guy on. I wanted to get you on here before the actual crowdfunding finished, because I'd love to have some people, I want to order a pair of sandals.
Thank you.
Yeah. So how do I do that? I mean, I've got your link in the description
from
the crowdfunding. So in that link, I haven't gone through the whole link, obviously, but I put it down there. If anybody's looking and wants to get some sandals, in the description below, we have the link for the crowdfunding campaign.
That's right.
So that's where I get them, right? If I want them, I go in there. Okay.
That's the best place right now. People can order them off my website as well. I do have my website where people could go in and order from. It's okay as well. But for sure right now, it's great to use the crowdfund. I'd recommend push people to go to the crowdfund, because obviously the more supporters, we hopefully draw even more people in, and it's doing really well. We're in the first week. We have about 2 weeks left, and it's gone great. I've already met my first goal, which was to raise $3,000 US.
Okay. And I saw that. Okay.
Yep. And I hit that goal in 2 days. I had an awesome group of people came through and were like, yes, just like you said, Eddie, they like the story. It's cool too. They, like for many, many developing countries for a long time, I think the technology of using tires as soles is not new, right?
Okay. Yeah.
It's not new.
I never heard of it, but okay.
Right. Yeah, and doing some research, I came across that and was like, oh, that's cool. So when I went down there and asked those guys, hey, can you do that for a sandal? They're like, of course, no problem. We already sometimes do that with shoes and other things we make, no problem. Okay. So for me, that was like an added bonus. That's a little kind of trying to be a little eco-friendly, because obviously, leather, processing leather is not the most eco-friendly. So you're trying to kind of balance out to say, well, at least we're, trying to recycle or upcycle something. And then this is really about impacting people, right?
Yeah.
More than the environment. It's like, we're really trying to help people who are a marginalized community improve their lifestyle a little bit with just more international market presence, right?
I agree. I love it. Yeah. I think, I mean, so I just wanted to point it out with the sandals really quick. So a lot of the comments that I got when I shared and stuff and from people was a lot of the foreigners, the expat, the men here, they have big feet and they can't find sandals their size. So are you guys able to accommodate like a bigger size, like a size 12, a size 15 US? Is that
yes.
Is that doable? Yeah. Okay.
I'm definitely sitting on a lot of stock of 12s.
Okay.
If someone's hitting me up for 15s, they're going to have to wait. I'm already going to have to go in and order those up. But if someone's got 12 and a half foot, no problem. I got them. And if they want to order that pair, we will custom make it, because I already had some other people who said, yeah, I want those. Beautiful. So what's great about this order right now is usually, like I said, 50 pairs kind of lasts me 4 or 5 months. I'm already planning to go through those on this crowdfund and reorder, great. Right? Okay, great. So another order will be put in soon, and it should be easy for me. So happy to try to customize for those people. No problem.
So kids size, all sizes. So you're saying you got 12s all the way down to kids, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, the smallest size I do right now, I end up sizing them in kind of like EU 36, and that ends up being like a US 6 kind of women's size. Kids could wear this. A 10-year-old kid, 10 to 12-year-old kid could wear it. But I have seldom sold to kids. Not to say that I wouldn't, right? It's possible. Like if a family was like, yeah, we want 5 pairs for all of our kids and for mom and dad, and sure, we can do it, right?
Okay, because that's what I was thinking. Like I'll order a pair for myself, my wife, and I have a 9-year-old, and so I think that'd be great. I'd love it.
Sure.
Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, definitely.
A bit of an allergy day today.
No problem. Yeah. So. Yeah,
that sounds great. Go ahead.
I appreciate you having me on here, Ed, and I think it's so cool. I mean, I think social business, like, just how can we, to me, I think it's more about just kind of inspiring somebody else to think about these kind of things. Like, how do I want to start a business or my startup. How do I kind of make it a social business, or how do I make my product more eco-friendly, or, how do I make it some kind of impact that's having on people or planet, right? And that's what's cool about social business, because honestly, my partnership and that I work with down there, they do a lot of work with the local community, right?
Okay.
And they do a lot of stuff helping the community there, in Tondo, Manila, right? Which is, the largest slum in Southeast Asia. It's huge community of people that live in, terrible conditions. Anytime it rains, it instantly floods to like knee, waist deep sometimes in spots. And it's tough, their day-to-day conditions, the houses they live in, a lot of times they're just, mixed materials they can find, tarps. So
that's tough. That's definitely tough.
Yes. Yeah. So my partner does a lot to work with the community there. And for me, it's just like, I'm just giving an add-on. I'm just helping a little bit more to maintain their stability, give them that extra money, make sure that they have a good earning wage when they produce the sandals, and that they can take care of the community down there. So I'm really making a small impact now, but what's cool, this is what I'm so stoked about, it's on my crowdfund page as well, this is what's cool about social business. Okay, I have, through making orders and ordering sandals, I've put up $6,000 US.
Beautiful. Okay?
I would never donate that, right?
Yeah. It's tough.
I would never donate that to charity. Sorry, man. I don't have that kind of money. And,
none of us can donate that. Yeah.
Right?
We would love to, but we just can't. Yeah.
Right.
Agree.
Through social business, it's like, I've done that and I didn't really lose money. I got that back in sales, so it's like, I don't make a ton of profit, but everything's covered, which is so cool. So it's like selling a product that has an impact actually helps you to do something that you would never be able to do from a charity standpoint, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the good thing about charities and crowdfunding is you're getting a solid physical product. Like for the person, some of the charities and stuff, they're like, hey, donate money. And then sometimes you do, but if you're actually getting a physical product, you don't even feel like you're donating money. You feel like, I'm buying these sandals. This is great. And it's going to this project. So you feel like, I think it's a better sales technique than to say, hey, please, give me money for free.
Right.
You know, give me nothing. I'm going to give you nothing. I'm going to give you a handshake or whatever. Give me money. But you're getting a physical product this way. And the sandals look great. I can't wait to get my own. So I'm thinking, yeah, I when I get them, I'll take some pictures and we'll, you know, it'll be good, man. I'll place an order in the next day or so. But yeah, I just wanted to see if we could get a kid size. So that's why I wanted to ask you. So I'll see.
I probably got a kid size for you for sure, Ed. For you, yeah, I got something that might be a little big on your child at 9, but they'll grow right into them, right? Like 9, 10, 11, they'll be. And the sandals, they last. What else is cool is for my international customers right now, it's kind of hard to do. It's a stretch, but in Taiwan. Okay, so for like you, Eddie, or anyone in Taiwan, I usually tell people, hey, it's a 1-year warranty, right? If these blow out, I replace them for you.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
I will because I think they last that long. So if I could just have my shipping costs internationally down enough, I could do it too, right?
Yeah.
But right now, you know, when I ship a pair, they're like a 300 something NT on shipping right now. So I kind of cuts my margin out, right? If I was to have to send a pair. But
let's see what we can do to figure that out. But yeah. Shipping is tough for sure. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. It's another logistics thing. I mean, I've realized selling footwear or any apparel, I mean, it's kind of a numbers game, right? If you can really get high numbers going, higher volume, then everything starts to cover itself really well, right?
Okay.
But you know, for me, it's been okay. You know, I would say, have I made a ton of money off this? No, you know, I haven't. But have I really lost money? Nah, not really. You know, I've been pretty much like able to break even, and I feel it's rewarding, right?
Yeah, I think the money that's coming in is also going to a pretty great place. So that's like the whole sandals with the story thing is pretty. It's a pretty cool thing, man. I believe everybody, like I said, people that want to donate, they're like, I should donate, but they're like, but I also need new shoes or new sandals or something, right? So if you can do both, I think that's fantastic. Yeah.
Sure. Exactly. Yeah. It's been exactly like you said, people feel a good value because it is a real, you know, product or service that you provide that is value that the customer, you know, would go out and buy anyways, right?
Yeah. So it's a physical product that you can touch. You get it in the mail. You're like, I got these. I'm going to put them on, and it's almost like a badge of honor to wear something cool like these, man. So I'm excited to get my own. It'll be great. It's going to be great.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks, Eddie. I appreciate that.
Hey, I'll in the next day or so, I'll go back. I'll measure my daughter's foot and I'll get my wife's foot size. Unfortunately, I don't know her foot size on top of my head.
No problem.
Especially, I mean, I think in the U.S., you know, and then there's the European, and then there's the Taiwanese, and so I just got to measure the foot.
Cool. Is your wife from Taiwan or is she from Canada?
She's from Taiwan, man. She's from Taiwan. My daughter is born here. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty
Congratulations.
Good.
That's awesome.
Thanks, man. We actually we built this business from it's been about a 15-year trek to get to where we are now, and it's going pretty good, man. Things are. I mean, obviously the 3 months of pandemic sucked, but it's kind of coming back up. We persevered through that. We put like online ordering. We got a bunch of stuff going on. We adapted, and the stuff that we built through the pandemic is still working now, which is great. We have customers that would come in maybe once a month to eat, but during the pandemic, they'd order once a week through our online ordering system. We'd have it Lala moved to their house. And now these guys, sometimes they come in to eat, but sometimes they'll just order like they're ordering once a week. Like I just shipped to a good buddy of mine who comes usually once a month, but now he's ordering every week to his house. It just comes right to his house. He loves it. People get busy. So it's pretty cool, man. So hopefully we can catch up. We can catch up on that stuff. Yeah.
So you have something out there. You have a restaurant then you out in Tamshui, is that right?
I did. So we started in Danshui. We started a stand in Danshui, and then we moved to a little restaurant, and then we came into Tianmu, and we had a sort of a medium-ish size one, and then to this one. This is kind of the big one, but we had two at one point. About a year and a half ago, we decided I had an investor for this one. I said, okay, let's 2 restaurants. It was doable and they were profitable, but it seemed like we were making more in our pocket with one. And I'm like, I'm doing double the work and I'm making less money. It doesn't make sense. So, and I'm missing like my daughter grow up. So I said, let's get rid of the little one. Okay. So we got the little one. I found a guy who was looking for a location, and he's like, I love this location. Something like this would be perfect. And then about 4 months later, I said, do you still want the location? He's like, yeah, something like that would be perfect. I said, not something like it. I'll give you this one. You can take this one. Give me like this much, and you can have everything, the tables and the chairs, and the phone number and the internet and all the freaking iPads, everything. And so we did. It worked out well. And then unfortunately, about 2 months later, the pandemic hit. And so it was kind of rough everywhere. But for us, just having one was okay, because we were kind of like, okay, we can coast through it. And we actually had a really good year last year. And this year was actually going really well as well, until, of course, 3 months ago, no dine-in is murder for a restaurant.
Sure.
No matter, your online ordering is on, your game is on, a game for online ordering. It still cannot replace 6 dudes coming in, having a couple beers, having some food. You can't replace that. You can't replace that. Definitely. Because when people do online order, they're ordering their food. Drink sales are super low. We do like one-way growlers and stuff, but I mean, you can get a can of Coke at a 7-Eleven or Carrefour or something for really cheap. So it's tough, but we made it through, and it's pretty good now. So now we're here. Things are good. We're catching up again. I've been doing the podcast for almost 2 years, every week, once a week, and we're number 99. So we're almost there, dude. We're almost at 100. Wow. And basically the point of the podcast was just to share stories like yours, man, because with a restaurant, you get to meet so many really cool people, and you hear these stories like for example, yours, and you're like, I want to share it. If I can build somewhere I can share this story even a little bit, then I'll put in the work and do it. So cool.
Thank you. Thank you, Ed. I appreciate that.
And if anybody's listening, below, that's how you get your sandals, right? I'm going to place my order either tonight or tomorrow. Cool. Yeah, I'm excited. Crowdfunding looks like a really cool thing. I actually wanted to ask you, you keep mentioning a social business. Right. I think it's a term that's not used that often. And so we do have lots of expat viewers, but we also have like lots of Taiwanese viewers that are pretty good English or learning English. So something like a social business. What could you explain? Maybe not a definition, but your definition of social business.
Sure. I mean, social business is awesome because, again, like I kind of talked about, is it's the ability for business to be a force for good. It's usually a business that operates, they have to make profit, but they also have a high mission focus, right?
Okay.
So, if you don't sell something and you can't make any sales, you don't have a business, right?
100%.
Right.
100%. Yeah.
So that rule doesn't change. Social business is the same for a regular big business, a big corporation like Google or Facebook. They got to make sales. And same as a social business, that's a guy like me selling sandals. I got to make sales. That's number one. But, social business is different in that it puts a high focus priority on your impact. What are you doing for people or planet or both? And so, when you operate at that kind of lens, then that kind of keeps you focused, and you're not completely driven to for profit, right?
Sure. Okay.
Shareholders, people who come in involved, if the company grows in that direction, have to understand that that's part of what the business is. And appreciate that. And then those kind of people that might come in are an impact investor, an investor who wants to see for example, investor A is a strict business guy. He's like, I want 3-year return on, if I loan you 100,000 NT, I want 3 years. You pay that back with interest, so I make 130,000 NT, right?
Yeah.
But an impact investor might say, you know what, you can pay me back in 5 years. I don't care about the interest. I just want my money back, and I care that you keep your social mission helping people, right? Like that. Yeah. Right. Okay, so those would be the investors, and somebody like myself who's working on this is also highly targeting for that, right? I care about growth, but I care also that we're still benefiting the community and our partners we work with, and that everyone is benefiting, right?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I just wanted to put that up there, man.
Sure.
Social business. Yeah, sure. So I think no, that's a really good definition, and definitely, like you're saying, I know most people they come out and they're like, I want to change the world. I want to help the poor. I want to do this. I want to do that, and I want to start a business that does that. But what you were saying, you have to have the income. There has to be an income. There has to be sales, because I would imagine most people, they want to do good things, but if there's no income coming in, you can only take so much out of your pocket and be like, hey, I'm going to donate this. And eventually, if there's no income, you still have to be working to bring in income to put that money in.
Right.
So I think what you're doing with the social business, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. And, I'll be honest, I'd love to be doing this full time. That's kind of my goal, to get there. And this is one step. Sure. This is one step in that direction. But right now, these last few years, it's been a bootstrap. And I still teach English part-time to help cover rent and, pay for this. But that's what's awesome about Taiwan, is that you can be, that's what's so cool about foreigners here and Taiwanese who can kind of get into a bubble of startup space and think about stuff. You can always find kind of a part-time and cost of living is cheap here, and it can help kind of float you along to where you might get where you want to be, right? So I'm looking for that next step. I'm looking to see this thing get bigger, and I'd love to see it be growing, and that would be sales volume. Obviously selling more, so we're ordering more. So that my partners can continue to employ more workers, train more people, and keep their kids in school down there, and keep improving their life a little bit, right?
Of course, yeah. Just want to say quick shout out to Full Value Dan. He's thrown in some support for the project. Great message and mission. Thanks, buddy.
Awesome.
I appreciate it. He's got a great channel as well.
Cool.
He's fantastic. I've had him on the show before. Super, super great guy. Yeah, no, I just wanted to give him a little shout out there.
I saw that. Yeah. Thanks, Dan.
Awesome,
Thanks,
dude.
Dan.
That's so we're talking about startups, right? Like you're talking about your friend having a startup or somebody and then this is a startup, right? So is this your first sort of kick at the can doing something like this, entrepreneurial sort of deal?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. Okay. This is something that, I thought a lot about as I started kind of getting into this. And when I finished my MBA program, I was like, well, is it finally time to move on from Taiwan and maybe head back home? And, I was thinking a lot about that. But I thought, why not try something that I'm passionate about, that sounds fun, sounds exciting, a little bit of a challenge, and I still got a safety net, right? Like I can still generate some income to make sure I'm covering all my costs. And
that's the best part of Taiwan, that safety net, man. I subbed grade 1 last week. Right. They're just like, here you go, bam. I'm like, oh wow, geez, I forgot about that. It's crazy.
Yes,
so
it's
keep
very
going.
nice.
It's beautiful.
Yes. So that's, I have to be grateful for that. And what's cool is, to date, all my sales of sandals have all come from, people in Taiwan, the foreign expat community and Taiwanese. That's who's brought me to today here, to give me the confidence to say, okay, now I'm going to, let all those kind of network of friends and family outside Taiwan say, hey, let's get involved in this, help me. And people have been really supportive. It's been great. So, I'm excited to kind of say, okay, what's the next step after the crowdfunding's over? Now you have a bit of money. Obviously, a lot of that has to go into your cost, and you're going to send that for shipping and for your product that you've ordered. But at the end, you're going to have a little bit of seed money there, right? And so then what do you do? And so it's going to be interesting to kind of decide, like, okay, what's the track? Are you going to go out and try to match that with some impact investors? Are you just going to look at, I'm also just looking at probably more conservative would be, let's go ahead and step up our digital and online marketing and just see if we can continue to sell more in Taiwan and abroad. For example, summer's coming in Australia, right?
Yes.
So,
I know a lot of Australian people, cool. Fantastic people. I'm sure they would love it. I like the sandals with his story. It's beautiful, man. I think
Right.
most people that hear this, I saw your YouTube video. Most people that would hear this, most people that would see this would love it.
Right.
I think it's fantastic. Yeah.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm excited about it, and excited for the potential. And I've been really, really very appreciative of the support so far. I mean, just to come out and crush my goal in 48 hours was awesome.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man.
Yeah, just to have the people just going in and saying, yeah, I'll take it. I'll take a pair. I even had a couple, these are friends of mine, which is cool. But one of my awards on the crowdfund was a venture trip, because I love camping and surfing and climbing and going around. And I do this. I have a van. I drive all around Taiwan. I love it. Right.
Yeah, I can picture it. I love it.
Yeah. So one of the prizes was like, hey, come with Ziran for a week of camping. And, I was like, no one will take that. And I had 2 friends sign up for that. I was like, oh, that's cool. So I was stoked.
That is cool. Right?
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. So on this topic still, the crowdfunding, right? Crowdfunding, that's a whole different thing, right? To set up a page to crowdfund, to get sort of traffic to your page. Right. I mean, could you talk a little bit about the crowdfunding? I mean, you started already, but keep going, please.
Sure. Yeah. I chose to use one called Start Some Good. They are, a leader in social business, nonprofit, crowdfunding. They focus on that. They try to speak to that. So for me, I was like, you know what? This platform fits with my mission, my values. I'm going to go with them, even though they would be smaller, right, than like a Kickstarter or Indiegogo, which are big, players, right? And
huge.
Probably a crowdfund site logo may add more people. I don't know, but I've been really happy with Start Some Good. Like I said, I just like their mission, their values, their support, and I was like, I'm going to go with them. It just felt like the right fit. I was like, you guys target social businesses? I'm a social business. Yes, done. Now there is, for example, I think Flying V, that's a big crowdfund in Taiwan.
Okay. So, there's a few. I think there's a few apparently. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And so I know there's a few in Taiwan as well. And, that's another avenue. It's like, well, you went on one that was kind of getting international. Now you maybe try to move over to one in Taiwan. And
do you think it's doable? Yeah. To be like, let's do our international, you know what? Let's focus one campaign fully on Taiwan. Is that okay? Sure. Is that a thing? Yeah.
It could be a thing. And, it's something to think about. I would say right now, if you ask me if you're planning to do that, I'd say no, I'm not. But I still think it's also very cool. And definitely, if I was Taiwanese, it's great to have your own Taiwanese crowdfund platform, right?
Of course.
Very cool. Yeah. And that focuses directly on Taiwanese startups here in the ecosystem of Taiwan, and that, it's great. So I think they've done really well. I know a few people have worked for them and said, good things. And so crowdfunding is cool because basically it's all about, first you attract your tribe meaning those people, and then you attract the crowd being someone like you, Ed, who I had never met. I didn't know you, but you heard about this and you say, hey, it's cool. I'm going to come in. That's great.
Very
cool. Yes.
Yeah.
So crowdfunding is great. But for me, hands down, the success I got so far is definitely from my tribe coming in like 80% strong. And that other 20% is some crowd, which is cool, because otherwise, if I'm not doing this, no one even knows. My friends at home don't know, and those people here in Taiwan that don't know. So it's a powerful tool.
Okay, beautiful. I love that. Yeah. So, how's the response been for the cause? How's the response been to the product?
Sure. For the few years that I've been selling these, I'll be honest, in Taiwan, I've only had to really replace like 4, 5, 6 max over a 2-year period of someone that like, yeah, man, I bought these and they just fell apart, kind of had a problem after 6 to 8 months. So that's happened really rarely. So most people have been satisfied because they last a long time. The sole is recycled airplane tire, very durable. Yeah. So people feel pretty good about them, and the leather feels good. It slowly kind of molds into your foot a little bit, and so the response on the product has been good. And like you said, people hear the story, so they feel good about that. So it's always helped sell. That I tell people, hey, these are made in the Philippines. That were 社会企业, which is like a social business in Chinese. And so, when I explain
I didn't even know that word. Oh my God.
Yeah. So I use that often when I'm pitching someone face to face, right? When I'm doing some selling out of the back of my van. So for example, I might go to surf competitions or little pop-up events that I'm interested in what people are doing. So because the name is Ziran, nature, Ziran. It's like that's the name inspiration of the company in Taiwan. So for me, you would find me at pop-up events that are related to that. So I'm interested in those kind of things. But I love anyone to support me, right?
Of course,
and anyone who's hopefully enjoyed being outside in Taiwan somewhere can appreciate where we're coming from.
I think it's beautiful. And you were talking about the material. Right. Mm-hmm, so you're talking about airplane tires. So where'd you get that idea? I mean, I've never heard of that. I figured, when I seen that, to me, it looked like, okay, that's a no brainer, but I would have never thought about that because those have to be super durable to be airplane tires. Right. So where did this whole idea come from?
Cool. Yeah, you hit it on the nose. I approached the suppliers and people I was talking to in the Philippines saying, hey, I saw that, there's upcycled sandals. This is a thing. And can you do that with a tire? And I assumed they were just going to use car tires and stuff. Right. Okay, but they go, we use airplane tires here. And I was like, okay, that's great. And
it's even better.
It's even better.
I would imagine.
Guess why, Ed? Why is it better? Can you guess? There's a good reason why it's even better than normal like car tires.
It's got to be more durable because an airplane is so much heavier, right? And an airplane is more like a car tire blowing out is one thing, but an airplane tire blowing out, you don't really hear of that. Right. And it's way more dangerous. I'm guessing there's some kind of extra material. I have no idea what's in there though. You're
right. So what's cool is I looked this up, and I'm not saying I'm 100% correct, but I'm basically airplane tires are made more based off of like natural rubber sources.
Oh, okay.
Where car tires, truck tires, everything we see on the roads are usually made with petroleum based, gasoline based.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that was a thing.
The reason an airplane tire is more rubber-based is they don't want that thing lighting up when it lands, right?
Yeah.
And had that friction and causing a light, causing some flame on the landing and lights up the tire. So they have to kind of be anti-flammable that way. And so they use more of a natural-based rubber, which is good. It's even more eco-friendly, right?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. And so the Philippine people have already been using that as a source because the tires are huge, and like you said, they have to keep them very safe. So as soon as there is some like gnarly skid marks on part of the tire that happened on a kind of a crazy landing, they just retire that tire, right? And they're already getting a new one. And that's when the guys who produce these shoes can come along and just pick it up off of from the airports directly for, I think either free or very, very cheap, right? Because the airline would just be throwing them out anyways.
Yeah, and that's great because, you got to recycle as much as you can. Sometimes you see these documentaries on like the ocean and stuff, and you're like, it's crazy. What can we do? And, tires, it's crazy. And it seems so simple, but it's a beautiful thing that you're doing, man. I love it.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. It's a small thing. But the way, for the future and for our children, it's like we all need to be thinking about how do we use less plastic? How can materials be more recycled? Like when are we going to move to, bamboo silverware for restaurants and straws and all that? Like when is that happening?
I mean, you see all that stuff like the like the plates that are made of like leaves and they compost and that's great. And then you looking around as a restaurant guy, I'm like, I don't even know where I can get those. You look around and you're going to have to import them and from like Northern India, and then it's going to be super expensive. And you're like, well, I can't like quadruple my costs either. Right. I'll be out of business, So stuff like this, man, I love it. I mean, I know that Taiwan banned straws kind of ish, right? In the last couple of years, I think. So we went strawless and you can have reusable straws. And there was people doing sugar cane sort of pressed straws. And I think cool stuff happens when people are forced to do it, and if not, then people don't really have to think about it. They just take the easiest way,
Right. Exactly. Yeah. So it's, for me though, I'd say that, all like startups, especially when we're thinking about certain products, like how can you incorporate, sustainable product in your design, if at all possible. And again, I'm not saying I'm the greenest thumb out there because leather is an intense process. It has a lot of chemicals. It is not a clean process to produce leather. I'll say that right up front. But, again, this project is more about how you impact people. We're really helping people at the end of the day here. It's awesome. But there is other companies out there. There's other people doing stuff that are making sandals completely from recycled material, right? They're melting stuff down and putting out a brand new product, and that's cool. And customers need to just demand that, like, hey, what does your product do for the planet? The customer needs to demand, what are you doing for people? Like, I think it's so important. Like, people need to start asking for that.
Well, I also think the people that are doing it all sort of like that organic, it's a process too. I mean, like, I'm sure they didn't start from day one, like everything's organic or, it's a process. So, I mean, like I've seen people making, I'll probably get corrected here, but making leather from like cactus and like hemp and all this other crazy stuff, which is really cool. So, I mean, it's a step-by-step process. And I think the main thing is you're helping people and you're helping people put food on the table and kids are going to school. And I think that's a beautiful thing, man. I love it. So that's why when I read your post, I said, I gotta get this guy on here and see if we can get some sandals sold, hopefully.
Thank you, Ed. Well, it's I'm doing a small bit, and my partners down there that work full time in the community, they do a lot. They do a lot. They're the ones really pulling the weight, and I'm here just kind of been very grateful for their support and that our partnership is really valuable.
Well, it's teamwork as well. I mean, there's got to be somebody doing something else. If everybody's kind of waiting around, nothing gets done. So, I mean, everybody kind of doing their thing. It's like a cog in a machine, right? Things are moving. So, international markets is one of the things you want to expand into, right? So, obviously, you're in Taiwan right now. We're doing the crowdfunding right now, and so the goal would be to hit, I would guess, Southeast Asia first, or let's just go international, like worldwide, or what are you thinking?
Sure. This crowdfund's about, after the crowdfund's over, it's like, great, I can take some of this money, go ahead, revamp my website a little bit that US orders from the US, no problem, can do. Canada can do. Markets where there's people that are like, yep, I'll buy this, I like it, I'm interested. And, definitely, I'd love to be able to just, get locally around like Japan, Hong Kong, Philippines, Malaysia, Singapore, to have those guys, and Australia. Like, to me, those are all potential countries that I'd like to open it up and say, yep. And then look at how do we do some on target marketing, right, to attract those people a little bit.
Yeah. So because they're made in the Philippines, would that be a market that you would be into? Like, would that be an easier market to get in, or how does that work out?
It's a good question. it's hard for me to think about, because to be honest, it's like, if you're living in the Philippines, I think you could go and get this product. Like, you could go find someone that would make it for you, right? But I've had Filipino people be like, "This is awesome," and I like it. So I think people still are appreciative of the brand there, and there's still some interest in it. And I have even had some people say, "Hey, I know a lot of surf schools and surf locations in the Philippines that I could introduce the sandals to," and so that's another level as well. But to be honest, I'm kind of like, when you start putting your product out in physical locations, that's another kind of thing to manage, right? So
of course, yeah. You almost need another team.
Yes,
you at least need somebody else. Yeah,
yeah. You need somebody there who you pay, who will then manage all that for you. So I'm not at that point, but definitely what's cool, it's 2021, it's the internet. We can go on and buy and sell and ship anywhere. And so I'm really looking for that. I'm like, let's take this to the next level.
And it is a business. So when you're saying you need somebody there, you need someone to pay, that means you need a stable income for that. And then it's like building a house, right? It's like you gotta have that base. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I love it, brother. So I got one more for you, brother. So what is the ultimate goal for Ziran?
Okay, good. I like it. Yeah, ultimate goal.
Yeah.
I'll just throw it out there, Ed, because I was thinking about it last night too.
Do it. Please do.
Along with Sandals and this kind of thing, I want that to be a regular part, like a core product, a core thing. But I'm also very interested in you don't put all your ducks in one spot, right? You don't put all your cookies in one cookie jar. So how can I kind of cross expand? So for example, I really love doing outdoor adventure activities. And part of me thinks about, how can I expand this company into offering post-pandemic outdoor trips outside Taiwan, in and outside Taiwan. So kind of some adventure tourism angle that could be awesome to kind of invite Taiwanese, along with social business tours. So for example, I say, hey, Ed, let's go visit a chocolate factory in Bali that's producing awesome chocolate at the same kind of market where they're helping local people. They're, selling internationally a product that's made in Bali, supporting the local farmers and all this. And let's go tour this kind of a social business, get you inspired, and then let's go surf for a few days. And so would that attract people? And
I think it would. I think that sounds great.
Yeah.
I think people love that. Love the whole tour. In Taiwan, they love the tours, right? They love the whole traveling tour thing. But I think everywhere, if you could go and you're able to see something happening, and you're able to feel that physical product, and then you get to go to the beach after. I mean, that sounds great, right?
Yeah.
I'd be in for sure. I think it's good for, I think it's good for like also the younger generation. Like, I'd love to take my daughter to something like that, because, sometimes, pandemic, what are we doing? We're working, we're going home. But when we go home, we got our TV and Netflix, and we're watching movies, and we're all just getting fat, eating popcorn and watching TV at midnight, playing computer. But I mean, there's more to that. There's more to the world than that. And not everyone lives like that. So, to go out and to see other things. I actually had the idea a long time ago as well, because Mexico, my family is from Mexico. And when I was a kid, I remember one of the first times going, and we went into a really poor area, and I was like, "This is wow! You don't really know. You live kind of in your bubble, and to help something like that would be fantastic." Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's so much need out there. So that's, for me, what would be cool. Like, how do you have a trip that inspires somebody, lets them realize, wow, I'm really lucky for the life I have, and what can I do for others, right?
Yeah, I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, there's an awesome line I heard a couple months ago from a woman who runs a very impact-driven organization called Acumen, ACUMEN, like Acumen, and they're a big U.S. nonprofit that does a lot of social business impact work. Anyways,
Okay.
She said something on a podcast I heard, and she said, to whom much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
And that's cool, right?
That's very, I like that, because that's very true. I mean, we become used to, being able to go across the street, have dinner, doing whatever. And I think even with the pandemic, me as a restaurant owner, people couldn't come to eat. I mean, me as a customer, I like to go out and eat, and I couldn't. And I mean, you just get so used to things, and it's never a good thing, the pandemic. But I mean, it kind of puts life into perspective. Be like, hey, you know what? I should take a little bit more care of my money. I should take a little bit more care of my health or my family or things like that. And you know what? And then you go and you look around the world, and I can't even imagine some places in the U.S. Where they had the whole real hard lockdown as opposed to our soft lockdown. They had it for like 15 months or 16 months. There's no way most restaurants would be able to survive, because when we did no dine-in, we were like 50% from day one. So to do that for a year and a half, you have to reinvent yourself or you're just done, It's crazy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about just, keeping inspired about your work and what we're all doing out there. And, this kind of stuff, it's still not an easy road, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
Anyone who's an entrepreneur knows running this stuff, it's very challenging, right? But for me, knowing I'm trying to help people and make that small impact, however big or large I can, and slowly grow it, it keeps me motivated.
Beautiful. I love it, man. I think it's great. We've been chatting. It's already been an hour. It's crazy. Time flies. So
Yes.
I want to thank you for coming on. And I was really excited to meet you and to chat with you. And I want to give you a chance to say, if there's anything else you want to say before we cut it, then the mic is yours, my man.
Sure. Thanks, Ed. Yeah, I just want to thank you very much, Ed, for letting me on the show. I enjoyed it. It's great talking with you. I could see we hit it off very well. It's easy to talk with you. And thanks to all the listeners, everyone who tuned in here to check it out and learn about Ziran and learn about social business, and know that, I'm inspired by Taiwan and being here. People are very caring and grateful and kind here. And that's part of, why I also want to go out and do something that also gives back and also keeps me motivated about the outdoors and how awesome it is here in Taiwan. So, yeah, just exciting times, and thank you, man. I'm excited. Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. If you guys haven't subscribed to the channel, don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. We've got your website. The Ziran website is down there, but also the link for the crowdfunding campaign is down there. You still have another week or two, I believe, to get your sandals. I'll be ordering mine this week. And when I get them, I'll post a couple pictures, and it'll be cool, brother.
Sweet.
Thank you so much for doing the show. And thank you guys for watching. And we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Eddie.